San Francisco's on the brink of a major transformation with AI leasing millions of square feet of office space, new tech companies moving to downtown San Francisco, billions of dollars being invested in brand new mixed-use communities throughout the city, hundreds of millions of dollars being invested in new parks, and thousands of new residents expected in the coming years. And with all that exciting change come brand new housing projects. And in this video, I'm going to break down some of my favorite developments that are underway in the city. From historic garages being converted into condos, from a naval base being turned into a massive luxury housing development, to a defunct power plant being turned into a multi-billion-dollar mixed-use community, and a whole lot more. I'm Austin Clark, your lawyer turned real estate agent in San Francisco and Marin County, and as San Francisco undergoes its post-pandemic transformation, I'm here to give you an insider's look at all the exciting developments on the horizon in San Francisco. So whether you're thinking about moving to the city, investing in property here, or already living in San Francisco and just want to be up to date on what's going on, you've got all the information you need in one place. So let's dive right into some of my favorite developments underway in the city right now, and we're going to start with a really cool one in the Cow Hollow neighborhood, a historic garage conversion at 1776 Green Street. 1776 Green Street is the site of an adaptive reuse project of a historic garage in Cow Hollow. The original structure was built in 1914 and used as an automotive repair shop for decades before it became vacant. In 2018, the property was purchased out of bankruptcy by a company called Local Capital Group, a property developer and manager, and they bought it with the goal of adapting and reusing the site. The firm retained one of San Francisco's preeminent architectural firms for luxury residential development, Sutro Architects, that is completely reimagining the space into luxury condos that preserve the historic elements of the site. The development has been years in the making and is finally scheduled to come online in late 2024. It's going to feature 5 individual luxury condos in this boutique building, and they're going to feature some pretty unique amenities that make them ultra luxury compared to other properties available in the area. They're going to be 3 to 4 bedrooms each, but they're going to have exclusive outdoor space, super rare for condos. They're going to have their own storage, which is great. And on top of all of that, 2 parking spots per unit, which is crazy. That is really, really uncommon for condos in San Francisco. And it doesn't stop there. The elevators for the building are going to open up directly into each unit. There's going to be a private gym at the building for residents. And on top of all of that, steps away from one of the best shopping, dining, and bar scenes in all of San Francisco on Union Street in Cow Hollow. Floor plans and pricing haven't been finalized yet, but based on the finishes, the location, the view profiles, the amenities, and indications from the developer, expect well into the 5s starting for these properties. If you want updates about this project or are interested in touring it in person when it finally becomes available, definitely reach out to me. I've lived in the Bay Area for over a decade and I've helped numerous clients relocate all over the city, and I'd be happy to be a resource for you. I'll put my contact information in the description below. You can reach out anytime. And if you like videos about new developments, current events, or what day-to-day life is like in San Francisco or Marin County, subscribe to my channel because I make videos about that stuff every single week. Now back to my favorite new developments coming to San Francisco, and the next one on my list is the latest property type being released at Yerba Buena Island called The Flats. If you're into new construction and haven't already heard about the massive redevelopment at Yerba Buena Island, it needs to be on your radar. Yerba Buena Island is a near 150-acre island smack in the middle of the San Francisco Bay. It used to be under the jurisdiction of the Treasure Island Naval Station, and it's being converted into a massive luxury residential development with 70 acres of open park space and awesome amenities, including a 10,000 square foot private club for residents. There's already a mix of condos and townhomes on the island, and the next iteration of property types that they're opening is the flats. The flats are single-story boutique units with 7 to 9 units per building. They'll have dedicated elevator entrances for each unit, floor-to-ceiling glass windows, so the light is going to be crazy in there, private terraces overlooking some of the best views you'll get of the San Francisco Bay and skyline. Interiors will be designed by Edmonds and Lee, and the finishes are going to be super high-end. Sub-zero fridge, Wolf gas cooktops with the knobs built directly into the stone. Love that. Custom Italian cabinetry, marble everywhere, and fireplaces. I cannot wait to tour these. I'll definitely be showing them to you when they become available, so make sure to subscribe to my channel if you want a tour. I also have a separate tour, an overview of the entire island. I'll link that at the top of the description below. Go check it out if you're interested. The next new development in San Francisco is in an area that hasn't seen new residential development in the last 50 years. And there's a new project making its way through the planning process that, if approved, will bring 1,300 new units to the area, which is one of the most expensive areas in the entire city. In 2022, the Potrero Group acquired land now occupied by defunct medical campuses on the border of Presidio Heights and Laurel Heights on San Francisco's north side at 3333 and 3700 California Street. The group has been working on plans to convert these spaces into over 1,000 new homes, retail space, and public open space. Plans are being designed by several architects, BAR Architects, Jensen Architects, and Solomon Cordwell Bruens, with Meyer Studio responsible for landscape design. And if they're approved, most of the units are going to be market rate units or some sort of like senior care living facility. The project was approved a long time ago in different format and has since been stalled, according to the developer, because of shifting market conditions in the city. But the city has stepped in and proposed legislation that is supposed to help kickstart development of the site and at least start the infrastructure work on the site. Basically, they've created a special financing district that will allow the developer to borrow against future tax revenues that the project is going to generate, so that they have more funds up front to start development now. The city's also supposed to kick in some cash as well. This is something the city does a lot with new development. They're doing it at another project that I'm going to talk about on this list in a second, conversion of a now defunct power plant into a massive mixed-use community. So it's not unprecedented. It's something that the city does relatively often, and they're trying to pass that legislation for this development in Laurel Heights. Really excited to see how this one in particular progresses, because these sites have been neglected for so long, and this area is really low density housing, so not a lot of housing stock there, and that's contributed to very, very expensive home prices and rents in that area. So definitely could use some new supply in that area. And they're going to be really conveniently located. Those are steps away from the shops and restaurants at Laurel Village and along California Street, and it's really easy to get to anywhere you need to go via public transit on California Street as well. The next development I'm going to talk to you about is the single largest redevelopment in San Francisco's history. It's the redevelopment of San Francisco's Candlestick Point, a 280-acre stretch of land on the southeastern waterfront of San Francisco. The site was previously occupied by the San Francisco 49ers Candlestick Park, and it's been basically vacant for more than a decade, which really is a shame. When the Niners first moved, developer 5 Point Holding, who is also developing the adjacent site at the Hunters Point Naval Shipyard, planned to build about 7,000 new homes and 1 million square feet of mixed-use space at that site. The developer had been focused on developing Hunters Point first, but there have been delays at that site from efforts to clean up, toxic chemicals and stuff from that site. So they've shifted priorities to move Candlestick's redevelopment forward. And most recently, they've modified their existing plans to add 2 million more square feet of office space that was originally going to be at Hunters Point, but now they're going to move it over to Candlestick since that is supposed to be moving faster. So the total allocation of commercial space is now going to be 3 million square feet, along with the over 7,000 new housing units that they're bringing to the area. And over 30% of those new housing units are actually going to be dedicated for lower income housing. Earlier this fall, the city's Office of Community Investment and Infrastructure greenlit those modified plans, which should allow construction to finally start next year. There are still a bunch of administrative hurdles to clear, but it really feels like we're getting closer to seeing actual progress on the ground. We'll definitely keep you posted about this one, so subscribe if you want to stay up to date. And the last development I want to talk to you about, I think, is the most innovative development going on in the entire city. For the first time in 150 years, this specific stretch of land along San Francisco's central waterfront is going to be open to the public once the redevelopment is open. And the architects behind this redevelopment are some crazy heavy hitters. Developer Associate Capital has been working on converting a now defunct PG&E power plant on the central waterfront into a beautiful new mixed-use community with some awesome historic industrial details. Plans call for thousands of new homes, office space, lab space, retail, nearly 7 acres of open park space, including a rooftop soccer field, which sounds pretty awesome. They're also going to extend the Bay Trail, which is a waterfront trail that stretches all along the San Francisco Bay. And what I'm most excited about for this development are the A++ level architects that are involved in the project. One of them, Herzog and de Meuron. If you're familiar with San Francisco architecture, they did the De Young Museum. Really great architects. Foster and Partners is also involved in a ton of different buildings. They are famous for a bunch of stuff internationally, but locally, the Apple Visitor Center in Cupertino, as well as the renovation of the Transamerica Pyramid in downtown San Francisco. The outdoor space for this area looks super cool. They're keeping the power stack as a historic detail and anchor for everything that they're putting in the community. It's really unique, and if it turns out anything close to what the renderings look like, it's going to be awesome. The project broke ground several years ago, and the first apartment building broke ground last year, the Sophie Maxwell building, which is an entirely affordable housing development. UCSF Hospital also in discussions to become an anchor tenant at the site. There's so much happening at the site, and when I was a lawyer, I was actually involved in a case involving this development, so I'm personally invested in seeing it all come to fruition. Well, there you have it. Those are some of my favorite new developments currently underway in San Francisco. If you want more updates about these or other developments, current events, what day-to-day life is like in San Francisco or Marin and the housing markets there, definitely subscribe to my channel because I make videos about that stuff every single week. And if you're thinking about relocating to the area or having trouble navigating the market, want to learn more about different neighborhoods, definitely reach out to me. I've helped numerous people relocate all over San Francisco and Marin County. I'd be happy to be a resource for you as well. I'll leave my contact info in the description below. And if you're interested in learning more about several mixed-use communities along the central waterfront, including the Potrero Power development, I've got a separate video going over 3 multi-billion-dollar mixed-use communities all along the San Francisco central waterfront. I'll link that up top in the description below as well. Go check it out. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.